and welcome to the Nerd Age Podcast. This is a show where we talk about almost everything nerdy. My name is Jonah. I'm here with Corey.
Hey.
And I'm here with Josh.
Oh, what's up?
Mick will be in and out. It's kind of like he's here, then he's not here.
Yeah,
Who knows? But we're going to start with our discussion for the Rings of Power episodes 5 and 6, or 5, depending on if people watched it. But we'll see how it goes. And then we got some news afterwards. And we might play a little Nerd You Rather, potentially. If not, we'll do it next week. But let's start with Lord of the Rings spoilers, obviously, for the Rings of Power. Yeah, let's just go from the Josh. What do you got? What do you got for us?
So are we talking 6? The one that came out like literally today?
Did you watch the one today? Okay,
I watched it.
5 and 6.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're good to go.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, I really like the dwarf storyline is what I really liked from the first season also.
Yeah.
And I think carrying that through these last 2 episodes really focused on the dwarven rings, kind of how they're affecting Durin. I think just how they're representing that. I was kind of iffy on it at first, like it really took control that quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fast acting, baby.
Because book-wise...
Fast acting to acting.
Book-wise, the rings, the dwarven rings are like, they don't work how Sauron expects them to. He's like, this is really going to get the dwarves, and they're like, we're just greedy now. It doesn't control them like he expected it to, but it does make them greedy. But it just seemed like they were, which is fine. It's just the adaptation choice that they're making. They're making it more like the ring's more like the One Ring where he's like, where is it? You know, I thought you took it off, and he's like, oh, you said it was heavy, and he's like blaming other people for it. It just, and I understand we don't have time to just be like 8 generations. They pass the ring down from generation to generation, so
they could have a little bit more development. I would say,
but I do like the way that it's going, and I think the best stuff for these last 2 episodes was the stuff with Durin and him kind of like reconciling with his dad. Stuff from this last episode 6, where he's like, they're like basically like, we need to stop him, but he's like,
I look at him and
I still see my dad. Like that stuff was really good.
Episode 6 was way better than 5 in my opinion. I really liked the last episode because of moments like that.
Yeah. So I think the strongest moments for characters were in this last episode 6 with Durin and also Elendil.
Yeah, he's the man.
Elendil was sick.
Like he's a big character.
His daughter sucks.
She does suck,
like
dude.
she's the worst.
She's made up, and she sucks.
Like I don't want to. Like I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm just saying she's one of those characters that they purposely have made there for you not to like. And she's doing a really good job of being like, man, you the worst.
Yeah.
And that's
her purpose.
Alfarazon's son.
Yeah, he's one of those that
he hasn't done much, but
you're like I hate you.
You're like, I can't wait till you die.
Yeah, but it's not like you're an annoying. It's like you're really good at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Of being like, kind of just like a whiny little,
I just like when characters aren't so straightforward, where they have a little bit of redeeming qualities, where you have to they have a choice to make, and they have there's a little bit more back and forth on, do I do this? Should I be loyal to my father? And am I doing the right thing? I like struggle like that, but they are really side characters to like a third degree.
Yeah.
So I understand why they're so cut and dry.
I think the daughter has a little bit more. Yeah. Him, not so much. He's more just like, I just want to do what my daddy says.
Yeah.
I want to, Although his dad's manipulating him.
Although I do like the whole thing where he's like, your mom had a vision of you, like that was interesting. So even though they don't have enough time to kind of like play that story out, there's enough like little nibbles there that you can kind of be like, oh, that's interesting. When you're talking about Elendil, I think he's become one of my favorite characters. In the first season, it was like, okay, he's all right. But this season, I think he's just really good. He has some of like the best lines, I think, that they've given. He has that one line where, she talks about faith, and he's like, what's the point of faith if you don't act on it and you don't stand, like all that kind of, like that was a really cool scene. I just like even though it hasn't been a ton, I think they've done a really good job with showing that dynamic in Numenor and how that's going. And I really hope we get to, like, looking down the road, they've said 5 seasons.
Yeah.
I think it would be so awesome to see, the War of the Ring, like if that was the final season, and you see that moment where Elendil gets smashed.
But they don't have rights to that,
and
right?
you see, at this point, the doors may open. I think that would be the best way to end it.
I hope and I wish, I really would love that. But I'm not sure because...
No, because they should have rights to everything in the original books. So the War of the Ring is in the Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
And expanded upon in the appendices. So they should have rights to all of those. It's just the extra
the
stuff.
backstory stuff. So that's what I think.
To what level? Okay.
That's what I think would be really cool to see those characters. Like, I know this doesn't have any connection with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, but even in that prologue in Fellowship, you see those characters and you're like, how cool would it be that they are building up these characters when you see it, when they do it in season 5, that would be really cool. So I'm just really liking how they're setting up these characters. I really liked, which some people think this is annoying, but I've really liked the Harfoots and Nori and that whole thing and the stores. And I really like just even the little kind of like nods to, like, you'll find a home eventually, and they continue to kind of do these little things where she's like, well, we move along every month, and she's like, yeah, but, my husband was buried there and we met under the tree and all that kind of stuff. And I just think that's really cool how they're tying that so that the Harfoots eventually becoming the hobbits, I would assume, find the Shire like that. Yeah. I like them setting that up, and they do another tease with the stranger being Gandalf. Because of what Tom Bombadil says to him, Yeah. He gives that exact line that he gives to Frodo about Gollum.
Yeah. I mean, what from this whole series are you like, wow, that was really well thought out, and like, wow, they really pulled the rug underneath us. Like, nothing's that crazy. It would be awesome if it was a blue wizard, but I really am 99.8%.
Tom Bombadil's gonna give him his jacket, and he's gonna be like,
Tom Bombadil's very direct.
You a blue wizard, homie? And he's like, oh, hey, maybe that's my name.
Maybe you should grab the blue staff over there. If you want to really get this going,
They're gonna do the whole thing where he gets the thing. He's like, Gandalf.
That was my name.
That is my name.
I don't remember too much about Tom Bombadil in the books, but was he so direct? I always thought he was always so like.
Well, he's just a singer,
aloof, and he didn't address anything directly. And is that true from your memory?
I mean,
he's super like almost literal, but like he's like mapping out. Here's your choices. These are the things you're gonna have to tackle. Like, does he do that in the book?
He's not super direct, but I mean, in the book, that's like the whole. Basically, they go to Tom Bombadil's house, and he's like, "This is kind of what's happened." Like, he does give him a little bit of a rundown.
He does give like direction,
and it's not necessarily direction, but he does give him a sense of like, "Oh, you guys need to go here," kind of a thing. Like he's not like he's a little more serious in this way of like guiding things. But
maybe he's just older, and he's just like, I don't care as much. Lord of the Rings.
But I actually don't mind the interpretation of him being like, hey,
I think it fits better with the story for me. If he was like being like, like
that's what he is though. That's what he is though, right? Like he's super
don't remember
aloof.
Your name. Why doesn't he remember his name?
Yeah.
Like I'd be
it's
like,
actually his parts are all musicals. That'd be hilarious.
He's like, I know you got stuff going on, but have you seen my yellow boots yet, bro? Like that kind of sick.
He's like, use the soap, wash up, scrub it up, dub.
He is definitely this kind of almost guide role.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that interesting.
I think it's works.
Cool.
I think it works well. Just to kind of give him that whole sense of like, well, you're eldest, like they talk about in the other, his introduction. But yeah, just kind of having him even set up that idea of like, I'm not here to get involved. Like, I can't directly do anything because that's not my role. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm just kind of here, but I can still explain things to you and kind of direct you. And I like how they're setting up that idea of like, which was part of what Tolkien talked about in some of his books of like, or in his letters later of like, there's a evil wizard in the east and then there's Sauron in the west. And he's kind of like, or what, you need to do something about these guys, like either both of them or one of them, or you're gonna have to face them. So I like how they're kind of setting that up.
Is that whole thing a setup? Him being like, your destiny or your friend, and he's gonna go for his friend. He's gonna be like, that was pass the test. I know you're a good one. I know you're a good one.
I will remain.
This is the first time that he's receiving kind of this guidance. Everything's been so much just discovery and guesswork, and kind of trying to listen to his visions and stuff like that. And so this is definitely an interesting defining point in his story that I always like in general stories. Like, I love this. You go to this hermit in the forest and he guides you on your quest. And it's, I'm a sucker for it. That's why I'm like, I did not like it. I did enjoy it. But I'm wondering, I wonder if people are mad because it's not directly his role or.
Well, yeah. And I do like that he even alludes to the fact that he's like, oh, the bad wizard got his staff. Now it's your turn. So he's like, he almost led him also to like, hey, you're an Istar. Like, I'd have no idea that you're bad.
Yeah.
Like, let's try and help you out here.
That's like the conversation they had where he's talk about the ancient flame.
Oh yeah, secret fire.
The secret, and then he says like, well, I want to wield it. He's like, do you know how to? He's like, why do you want to wield it? He's like, well, how would I? Like, that whole conversation was really cool. I thought that he's still kind of giving information, but he's still kind of.
It's like a good teacher.
It's not like giving him all the answers.
Instead of giving. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's another line that Gandalf says, I'm a servant of the secret fire. He says that to the Balrog. So it's like most likely like, I don't know if they directly reference it, but I think it's mostly related to like, oh, God, Iluvatar is the secret. He grants the secret fire to create or whatever, or he puts it in their hearts or whatever. So he's like, when Tom Bombadil's talking to him about that, he's like, why would you wield? You can't wield. You can't be God, essentially.
Right.
Like, you're a servant. You're a servant of the secret fire. It's placed, in your heart to serve it, not to wield it. So that's an interesting dynamic there of like Bombadil, like kind of like training him a little bit.
It's not like an offensive take on it. That's what I like about it. It doesn't offend any of the source material. I think it's cool. It's like a cool take on it.
The other stuff I'm really liking is, again, I think the guy that's playing Sauron is doing a really good job of kind of just, I think people, if you've just watched Lord of the Rings, and it's just kind of like, he's just a huge eye, right?
He's an eyeball.
But what I really like about this is they're giving Sauron depth, and they're giving him.
Yeah, you see his emotions and anger and stuff like that.
But you're also seeing like the power he wields and like the fact that he's a sorcerer, and all this. So like one of my favorite scenes was when, why can't I think of his name? The guy making the rings. Celebrimbor, like he hears the people and he goes outside, and then like Sauron just kind of gives him an illusion to what he's seeing.
When he opened that door, I was like, that was smart. I like this. Yeah. Like, I love the fact that, because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, how is he gonna make him be in the right mind to keep making these rings? That was cool.
That was cool. And so I just think I really like how his manipulation is like, it makes sense to what he's doing. He's using, sorcery. He's deceiving people. He's letting them see certain things. He talks to the one elf lady that's there being like, oh, you saw when you passed into that, you saw.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
You saw what the darkness of what the true being. You're like, but he makes it think that it's Celebrimbor and not him. Like that whole manipulation.
Smart.
Of even just being like, him forgetting the name and then being like, well, I left my hammer there, and he's like, I mean that, like he's playing with him the whole time. And so I just think that's really cool how they're doing that, and I think the actor's doing an awesome job. I think he's doing really good. Especially from the first season, I was like, how are they going to pull this off?
Yeah.
They've done awesome with that. I love that storyline too.
Yeah, I think even with like in episode 5 where Durin comes and he's like, hey, there's something wrong with the rings. He's like, and then he's asking Sauron, he's like, hey, did you do something? And he's like, no, we did something because we lied about it. And you're like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Just the way he's always like pivoting.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I'm caught. And he's what I like about it too is he's not always like
he's never
straight up lying to them. He's always like it's always half truths, or he lets them fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And Caleb Brimbo even says it. He's like, that's a game you like to play, don't you?
Yeah.
So I do like that he's kind of catching on to it, but it's like how they keep saying is like, once he gets a hold of you, like you can't get.
And he's too far into it.
Yeah, he's like he's too far in. I think Adar said it in this last episode, and they've mentioned it before. Of like, once he gets, he says his eye bores a hole in you, and the rest of him slithers in. And it's like this concept of like once he like gets his hooks in you, like you're under his control essentially. So even though Caleb Brimbore's like something's not quite right here, he's still like so far in to the manipulation that he's like just keeps getting strung along.
Yeah, it does beg the question how Adar kind of was able to turn on him and almost kill him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they were face to face. He was able to, you know, influence him and try to deceive him. And it's interesting how Adar was able to dominate that situation. So interesting that Celebrimbor couldn't even, you know what I mean? Like these old elves can't see past it. But the other question I had was, and this is a technical question on the rings. Now, is it not true that the elven rings are supposed to be not influenced with Sauron? Because in the books, they talk about those are the last three that he makes, right? Mm-hmm. And that's after he left. So it wasn't influenced with Sauron. So they changed it, right? In this story?
So they're not directly saying that he's influencing the rings, though. So I don't think they've explicitly said that.
But she has that connection to Sauron through the ring. So there's obviously some connection, right?
Not necessarily. I think they're just saying she has the connection with Sauron because he manipulated her.
And like you're saying it's not because of the ring?
No, it's not. Because she even says, she's like,
but he
had nothing to do with the rings. Right. So I don't think it's necessarily that Sauron's like, because he didn't make those rings specifically.
But he was there.
Right. Right. But they actually made him after, though.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Because they do the whole thing.
They make part of the process.
They make like a point of doing
he told him to use Mithril. He gave him the idea to use Mithril. But then once he leaves, then
because he leaves afterwards, and then they make him, and then you get that shot of the rings.
Okay.
Because so by having him show up, they do flip the order. But I think
they have Elrond being like, "Yo, like these rings aren't good," you know?
Right? Because I think that's a natural assumption to say like.
He gave him the idea.
Because we know in the books because we're told in the books. You know what I mean? They don't figure it out. So I think they're just playing that out of like, I mean, I would be super skeptical.
Sus.
Yeah. Of rings, you know what I mean? Like, these just came out of nowhere. You think they're like
I'd be super
they're just
rings.
They're just perfect. Like all of a sudden.
Okay. So they're just trying to stick to that then, you think? Okay.
That's what it seems like to me. They might change it. I don't know. Because at the end, like when he creates the One Ring, they're still all under the influence of the One Ring. Yeah, essentially, even though they're not bad, so to speak.
I can't remember the oldest elf guy. Círdan. He had an unnatural pull.
Yeah,
there's a reason why he didn't throw it into the water. I think it was Sauron's influence. Is kind of what I would say.
I don't think so.
Okay, why? Why do you think he didn't do it? Because he looked at it, it glimmered. And he was like, that's a pretty ring. It'd be a shame to put this away.
Sauron. Also, the boat kind of shook. You know what I mean? I would interpret that as it's the gods intervening.
Oh, and not Sauron.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, cool.
Because the rings in and of themselves aren't bad. Right? Like they saved the elves in their kingdom.
I think the only bad part about them, and I think this is kind of just how it comes off in the TV show, is that it's connected to Sauron, and I think that there's influence. It makes people, you know, there's this unnatural like throwing of rationale.
I feel
when it comes to them.
I feel if they're not going that way, they're playing too much into it. Like even the aspect of like seeing things that are happening before, like you know, she can kind of
the vision stuff.
See vision. I'm like. Yeah, if they're not going to go that way, then
Gil-galad also has visions.
Yeah, so
but are those visions bad?
Well, no, but what I'm saying is like,
we don't know.
What I'm saying is it makes it seem like Sauron's doing it because all they're talking about is like Elrond keeps saying like the rings are bad. He's manipulating you. You're part of his thing.
Mm-hmm. And Galadriel's saying it's according to his plan and stuff like that.
Right. And so I think like if they make that distinction that they're not like the visions are okay, the problem is they've kind of led us to believe that
kind of a waste
which
of
might change.
Yeah.
It might change at the end. They might explain it to be like, actually, the rings aren't. It wasn't what Sauron was showing you. They might do that, but from what we've seen, in my opinion, at least, it does seem like because even every time they show the rings, they go, like they give that like the whispers and sounds. And to me, that feels like, oh, that's Sauron.
Yeah.
So I just feel like the way they're kind of presenting it gives off that impression. Mm-hmm. It could be that it's different, but but I'm just going by what
that's the feeling it gives off for me. Yeah. But anyway, all right, cool.
Because that's why I'm wondering too.
But in the books, they do create those last, right? The elven ones, and okay.
But that's why I'm wondering though, because she ends up keeping the rings, right. So to me, it's going to be like, I'm curious to see how I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just wondering how do they. Because does Elrond have one of the rings eventually?
He's supposed to,
right?
Yeah,
so I'm like,
he's supposed to have the one that the oldest guy has.
The blue. No, he has the Gil-galad's one.
Oh, really?
So I'm just wondering how they do that change, where it's like, oh, well, we killed Sauron, so now the rings are. I don't. I'm just curious. Not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm curious how that part of the story is going to play out.
Yeah, I mean that could that's one of the things that they're going to have to figure out.
Yeah,
because it's like. What happens in the books is they're like, as soon as they find out that he makes the one ring, they're like, oh, we know what we've been betrayed. So they take the rings off and they don't use them anymore because they're basically revealed to Sauron. Mm-hmm. And then it's not until later, once he gets destroyed, that they're like, okay, we're good to use them again, kind of a thing. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be, I hope they don't lean too far into it of like you said, like the whole whispering thing. I don't know. I know we've heard it with the dwarf ones. Yeah. I don't know if we've heard it with the elf ones too much. But I think there still is that concept of like
with the men ones, it's going to be like,
dude, they're going to be crazy, dude. The men ones, they're going to be chaos, chaos rings, dude. Jeez.
Yeah. I think there's that aspect though with the rings of like, is it the rings that are bad or is it power in general?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The idea that power corrupts.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like, oh, this ring is making me do these things. And I don't necessarily think the visions that they've seen have been bad, right? Because Galadriel was like, oh, it's the Barrow Downs. We don't want to go there. That's bad. And then the visions that Gil-galad's seeing is like, I see destruction coming. So it's like almost like he's getting a warning. I don't think Sauron would want him to be like, oh, those are the dead guys I brought back to life.
But
right. I mean,
yes, I agree with that. But at the same time, they keep playing off like everyone's doing what Sauron wants.
Yeah.
Like so, the thing it's showing them, they're following, and it's what Sauron wants. So that's where it makes it weird to be like, yeah, they're getting these premonitions or something, but it's things of that Sauron like. Yeah, Sauron wants the elves to go there.
Yeah,
Sauron wants. Adar to go there. Sauron wants...
Adar wouldn't have done that, probably, pulled the trigger, if he wouldn't have got the information from Galadriel, which Galadriel came because of her visions. So it's like, I think they're playing off this puppeteer, like, with all the rings influence. But, we'll find out.
There's only 2 more episodes left then, right?
Yeah, 2 more.
It's crazy.
Ah, man, what a bummer. So this battle's going to be like... extending 2 episodes with other story. We get a mystery man vision quest. I don't know, whatever staff tree quest.
What are the chances we get his name at the end of the season? No,
0.
At the end of this season?
At the end of this one, like at the end, he's like Gandalf, and it cuts to black.
0. Sorry.
Oh, he goes, Gan, and it just cuts. They're like, Gan.
We've already called him Gandalf. Ganondorf.
I think we'll get his name.
I think they get it.
I think they get his name at the end.
Blow that?
Yeah.
I think so, because if you do it for a 3rd season, I feel like people will be like, okay, you can't keep giving me hints at this guy, and then...
Okay, yeah, you know what? You're right. Because what else do they have for reveals at the end of this? They teased Balrog, right? season?
I think Balrog comes in at the end.
That comes in the mines.
I hope it's not this season. I hope it's just kind of towards the end, and then we get it more
slow burn. That's such a
Again,
crazy.
see what you did there. Slow burn.
Yeah. Isn't that such a crazy thing though? They
teased it last season and then
finale. And we haven't even seen. I mean,
we saw him in the flames.
A little bit.
The little flames.
He was like, that guy's here, bro. Okay. You still alive, bro? Dang.
Oh man,
I better get some Mithril out here while I can.
Yo, that's another question. Real quick, how did he get it? So sorry, did I miss a line that said how he got that Mithril?
No,
he said something.
He just said when I went there, I kind of.
He probably just stole it or something.
That's what I would assume. Because he was like,
sure
this is from Narvi, like or whatever.
Yeah. I wasn't too sure on. I thought I might have missed something. I was like, okay. But he also can be anyone he wants to be. He can literally make himself look like the king, get some, dip out. A little overpowered.
Hey, what can I say? I think there'll be a tease of the Balrog again at the end.
He's like a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Like the gap he's behind is a little bit bigger.
Feel like what are they going to do with the dwarves while this battle's going on? Because the dwarves aren't going.
I think the dwarves are going.
You think the dwarves are going?
Yeah.
I will say, every time I see those dwarves with the
sweet
mask armor.
Going where?
They're going to go help out the elves.
But why? Or / how would they even how would they even know that this is going on?
I'm guessing, I don't know. That's good.
Like an extended battle. Like next episode, they're getting owned. And then the finale, they're able to send a messenger or something.
Yeah.
Elrond ran. He's been running this.
Elrond.
So this whole time, he's like, went to get guys like, hey, we got a text. See ya.
Help me.
He went to Durin.
Yeah.
The doors were awesome too, by the way.
Yeah.
What was that?
Doors are cool.
The doors that they made, I was like,
those are sick.
Speak friend.
Yeah, those are sick. I think overall, I've been very pleased with this last episode specifically. I enjoyed the slow moments, character progression, story progression a lot more. And so for me, this has brought it up a lot.
Yeah.
This last episode specifically. Honestly, because there wasn't the like human elf story as much in this last episode. What's his name?
Oh, Isildur?
Yeah. Like that story wasn't really there at all. And
yeah, they just had what's his name?
He killed a couple.
That's cool.
He found the map and he was like, all right, we rolling.
Dope.
He's like, they zoom in, he's like, oh shoot. And then it's like, we'll see him in 2 episodes.
See you in 2 episodes, brother. And the last thing I'll say is the Numenorian story is not bad. Like I actually, I do have issue of justifying its relevance to the greater story. I do know that it will fall eventually, but it's this like fight over the throne and with the queen, and it's not very engaging for me. But I thought these moments that they had with the water hole and stuff like that, and him standing up for the queen, and that was good.
Somebody poisoned the water
hole. I mean, what else do you call it? The bay? I don't know.
I thought that was kind of cool. You know, the
like,
creature and everything. That I thought was cool. A cool design.
That was it looked really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I struggle with, I don't know. It's like literally this huge thing where they're going to like throw this guy in the water and there's like 25 people there. And it's like, there's a lot of moments where I want to see better scale.
Yeah. I thought the same thing.
They struggle on scale presentation and it just looks so small. It looks like a little village. I want to see something sick and grand. You know, this is a huge moment. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with
Nitpicks,
that.
I felt that.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, there's only like 20 people there?
I literally started counting. I was like, maybe 30. Maybe 30.
Invite only. You gotta pay extra, dude.
Yeah, but you'd think to push the whole thing of her becoming the real, like the one
Queen
true
of the
queen.
Queen of the Sea.
You could have had more people like be witness to it.
Under the sea. No? There should have been a number there.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. Specifically, the last episode is really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like what they're doing with the Numenorians. I just like it because I'm like, you need to have the catastrophe of what happened in Numenor to then have those that make it to Middle Earth.
Yeah.
You know, and all that kind of stuff like that. Backstory is cool. That, again, if you've just watched Lord of the Rings, you have no idea what that is. You're just like, oh, Numenorians and that kind of stuff. So I like the backstory. The problem that they have is that there's so much different things going on that it's kind of like, hey, how much can we do with this? Which I think they're doing a pretty good job. Even though sometimes you get like one or two scenes with one character and then you're like, well, okay, we established enough because they got to have something. You know, it's got to make sense when in the season finale when characters show up. You're like, oh, okay,
right.
So it makes sense.
I just think it struggles with so what. You know what I mean? Like that question, a lot of people might be asking. I don't even know who Numenorians are, or how this even has to do with the greater overarching story. You know, what does this have to do with Sauron? You know, so we'll see. If there's 5 seasons, they got plenty of time to show.
Well, and they said that the talk is that they already internally greenlit season 3.
Oh, wow.
So they haven't.
Wow.
And they're still planning to do to 5. So, but they're going based on like little by little because it's a super expensive show.
Yeah.
I
thought you guys said they like recorded. Was it just the first 2 seasons at the same time?
No, they just did. They've done one.
Really?
That's why it took so long to come back.
Because they ended right.
I thought
towards
they
the
were
end of the writer's strike.
Oh, that's right.
So I think they had like
more.
Yeah, they had some stuff they needed to finish up.
Must have been something else I was thinking of, but yeah.
But yeah, I think I really like. I think the Numenor story has picked up a little bit, which is good because you want to like you said, you still want to like plant the seeds and keep it interesting when then we switch and we're like, oh, actually Numenor's our focus now, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, even just like I think this was episode 5 where we had just a quick scene of when Pharazôn his son's like, oh, you have the scepter now. And he like gives a little monologue about like, well, like, but yeah, how is it fair that the elves live forever kind of a thing? Like he kind of expresses that I'd like, hey, you finally got what you wanted. And he's like, well, it's not enough because I want more. So I think I think seeing that will be cool to kind of play out in further episodes or later seasons and stuff like that.
And Numenorians, just for my information, they're just men still.
Yeah,
right? They're just as much men as the regular men of Middle Earth.
They just live longer.
They just live a little bit longer.
Yeah,
because
like a lot longer.
They're like a little bit closer to the more deity like bloodline. Basically, is that why?
They're basically close to the elves. So basically, what happens is the men fight with in the battle of against Morgoth, and then the Valar are like, "That was cool that you guys helped out. Here's an island for you." Okay. And then Elrond's brother gets to choose like, oh, I'd like to be a human.
Oh.
And so he's the first Numenorian king.
Oh.
So he has long life, but he's mortal. And then it's the same thing with the Numenorians.
Oh,
They're
cool.
like,
but then how do the men exist then?
So they already existed.
He didn't touch those men. The existing
just
men.
The Numenorians that helped.
Right.
He started the whole new.
Yeah. So then there's they give him. They're like, okay, you can start this.
Oh, I get it. Oh my gosh!
Clicked.
So then they're like, okay, here's your kingdom that you can rule over, and then the Numenorians live there. That's cool. And so they're mortal, but they have longer life.
Dude, I love Lord of the Rings lore. Did I tell you guys before, like even season 1 started, I just watched a bunch of like Silmarillion like timeline like YouTube videos where they just go over all the stuff, the Silmarils.
Dude, it's crazy.
So cool, dude.
Anybody that that dismisses Tolkien and like just the amount of information and stuff he created, like the histories, the languages, I'm just like, there's like people,
they're dumb.
People are comparing the George R.R. Martin to like Tolkien. I'm like, get out of here.
There's
and
not
even
close.
George R.R. Martin like craps on Tolkien all the time.
What's Aragorn's taxing policy? I'm like, no one cares, old man. Finish your book.
And so like, I'm just like, dude, you haven't even scratched the surface of what Tolkien's done, anyways.
Well, what was so I think at the end of episode 5, Adar says line in Elvish or whatever, and it's like, oh, a star shines upon our meeting or whatever. And I think they were, I can't remember who was. I was watching a video. They were mentioning it that in one of Tolkien's letters, he's like, that he says that to his son, and he's like, I had this phrase and I wanted to create a world where I wanted this to make sense.
Wow.
So you're just like,
so cool.
It's just like, I created a language.
Yeah.
And now I'm just going to build a world around it. So that's kind of cool.
Nuts.
He was the first D&D GM. You know what I mean? Like a creator of the world. Honestly, like the amount of people who have been inspired and influenced by him is insurmountable. Like you can't even imagine the amount of people. It's crazy because it was back in the 70s when he wrote.
Oh, even earlier than that.
Before that, but like the last of his stuff was like what 70s, 80s.
Well, yeah, and then Silmarillion came out till afterwards.
But it's so crazy. To dismiss that is folly.
Anything else before we wrap up this?
No.
Wrap up this.
Wrap up this. You might as well wrap this up.
All right.
I think that's it.
Let us know what you thought about Rings of Power if you're watching. If you're not watching, you should be.
It's good.
I mean, the other thing, Anne, who listens to the show, she was saying that what she really enjoys about this is that it's TV 14 fantasy, like that kind of. Which I totally agree. Like the amount of times like something comes out that I'm like, but it's like
the amount of
full
times
of violence or nudity and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, this is the kind of like, this is great. I love this kind of just. There's still like violence in it, and it's still certain parts of it. But I'm like, it's just I don't have to worry about,
Yeah,
but I mean, it'd be kind of cool if we saw some orc butt.
Well, wouldn't it be better?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it
How cool
sell
would it be?
better?
How cool would it be?
Yeah,
Okay, dude.
sex back in Lord of the Rings.
I mean, there's a baby. There was an orc baby.
yeah, like
Where did it come from?
the baby happen?
Where do you think that came from?
Yeah, so I just think that's that's what I
it's
really like too.
refreshing.
I'm like, I want more of that in that realm. But yeah, let us know what you thought. We will be next week. We're going to talk about the next episode, and we're getting down to the end.
And
which
then
is
after that,
going really
we'll
quick.
talk about the last episode.
Exactly. We want to jump into some news. You had some Into the Spider-Verse news, I think, that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys
It's
saw.
a rumor.
It's lots of rumors, and he said, she said, and lots
It
of
got
that
canceled.
stuff.
There's no part 2.
So this is what happened. Your best friend Jeff Snyder, the Snyder, he's like
No relation to Zack Snyder.
he's like a Hollywood scooper. So he's like,
Yeah.
I heard that so and so is not doing this, all that stuff. So he put out an article, and he was like, he basically scooped who the director for Spider-Man 4 is going to be.
Okay.
So he's like, and I
is
can't
it?
remember who it's going to be
man,
because I was most focused on
people are listening,
Spider-Verse.
and we just said, hey, he gave us a scoop of who the director is, and then you said, I can't remember who it is.
Yeah,
Strike
I forgot
one.
it. So he says Spider-Man 4 is going to come out, and he says, I doubt that Into the Spider-Verse is going to come out in 2026 because they don't want to release Spider-Man 4
At the same time.
in the same year
Yeah.
as their other Spider-Man franchise, right? Because Beyond the Spider-Verse was supposed to come out this year.
Tom Holland Spider-Man 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was supposed to come out this year. They delayed it, and we haven't seen a new release date.
That's
They
interesting.
also said that Spider-Man 4 is another multiverse Spider-Man, which is
is it?
stupid. Because they just established
so maybe
that
that's why.
no one remembers him.
Right.
And it's like,
Right.
now let's give us just a down-to-earth, like, on the streets Spider-Man. And they're like, no, let's do another multiverse.
Okay. So he speculates in his article. He's like, I don't think we're going to see it until 2027. And then he threw in a little tidbit where he's like,
I'm going to be dead by then.
3
like-
years from now? When did it come out? Didn't it come out last year?
Jonah's going to be 40 by then, bro.
Man, I'm glad I'm not a
You'll be
huge
dead.
fan of these movies.
Yeah, that's true.
so he's saying this, and then he just randomly throws in like, oh, around Labor Day time, I heard rumors that they scrapped the whole story and had to start over.
Whoa.
Because of creative differences. So he just throws that out there.
Crazy.
And so then a bunch of other news outlets were like, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse delayed till 2027. Like they started running with that. And so the composer of the movie was like, on Twitter was like, or on X was like, this doesn't make any sense.
This
It's
is
stupid.
baloney. Yeah.
He's like, I've been working on.
Yeah,
no
he's
one
like-
told me. I've been working on this.
I've been writing music for this.
Yeah.
And so he's like,
Huh.
he's like,
Yeah,
"That-
but-
that's crazy, dude. And
You think the music guy's going to have all the info, though?
so Snyder
almost
replies, and he's
Spit take.
and he's like, maybe your bosses aren't telling you the whole truth, buddy.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And then Chris Miller came out and was like, "This is crazy. Like that's not happening." Because people were running with they scrapped the whole movie and they're restarting. Okay. So it's like all this like,
I mean, sure,
half truths.
Yeah.
A little bit. His like Jeff Snyder's Sauron, basically. Half truths, having people say what they think.
It's crazy to like have a scoop and then it affects all these people who are actually working on it and they have to come out and say
his
stuff.
original scoop was something completely different.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Chris Miller is like,
did he give us a date or is he just lying? Is he pulling a James Gunn?
That's what Jeff Snyder says. He's like, oh, so we're gonna believe a producer who's supposed to be hyping up a movie, and there's rumors that he's not even going to be at the studio anymore. And he's like, "Where's that release date, buddy?"
Oh,
and so he's like, jeez. And then he basically goes back and backtracks a ton. He's like, "I apologize to Chris Miller. I'm sorry I said this stuff. It was very rude of me. But where's that release date?" Basically,
okay.
So
he's trying to cover up a little, like
basically he's like, "Oh, I didn't mean it for." He's like, "People just didn't read my article. This isn't what I was implying."
He doesn't want it to be rude, also, and he doesn't want to stomp on his job. That's
so basically, at the end of the day, there wasn't any because a bunch of news outlets ran with it like delayed till 2027, whole story scrapped, wow. And so
it seems weird to me that the whole story would be scrapped when you have a part. When it's a part 2.
Well, it's
like
also,
you'd think you'd already have the story set.
It was already supposed to come out in March.
They already have the hook,
and they had
at the end of the movie.
They had the issues. They had issues with artists. They were like they were working them too hard. People were quitting. That kind of stuff.
Oh, people complained. Yeah,
and we were like, "Hey, bring on AI."
Dude, a bunch of artists are so weak.
I know. Artists are the weakest.
They always complain.
Like
work conditions. Just be lucky that you have a job. Just joking.
But yeah, so that was the Into the Spider-Verse stuff. I mean, hopefully they come out with a release date.
I was going to say they didn't come back and say, "Hey."
No, they were basically like they were. Chris Miller was like, "We're working hard on the movie.
Yeah,
we hope to share with you guys what we've been working on."
All right.
But it seems, like you said, it seems crazy that they would have been like,
"Do you guys?"
If you already had a release date in March,
right?
How are you like? We scrapped the whole
and not giving. Normally, you say, "Hey, we're pushing it back to November."
Yeah, so there's something weird going on there, but at the same time, it's like I doubt it's. Who knows? Maybe we'll see.
I doubt it's 2027, but you never know.
That's crazy.
If it's a complete it's a complete rewrite remake, like rough.
Nuts.
It could be 2027. That it sucks though.
I'm gonna be so mad.
Oh man. That's crazy.
The other news that came out was the Batman news. Did we talk about it last time? Where Matt Reeves was talking about Court of Owls.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
The other thing that he's talking about is that he might not have the same cinematographer. So people are
Greg Fraser.
People are bummed.
Yeah, he's sick.
In an interview with Collider, he was like, "Well, we're not at that point yet.
That cinematography was so
we'd love to work with him again, but we're still not. It can't be confirmed yet." So people
delay the movie,
dude.
Delay to 2027.
The scene where he's fighting super brutally in the subway that lives in my head rent free. And also when he gets his like car, weirdly that how they shot everything with the fire and the way he like took off and everything was so cool looking. It was dope.
It's awesome.
Or even just the upside down.
Yes, the upside. That's what I mean. Like even the conclusion of that was so sick, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
Is there any other news you guys wanted to talk about?
But Penguin's coming out next week or this week?
First episode dropped today.
Oh, really?
So we'll talk about it next week if we watch it. If you guys want to watch it, I want to watch it.
I got to get axed.
I don't think we're going to be covering Agatha all along on this show.
No,
I don't think one of us want to watch it.
I might just watch that. I always give a series at least an episode.
One.
If I'm really doubtful of it, I'll give it one. I always give a series a chance.
Yeah,
I'm
look at that.
impartial.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
I am the one in the middle, as we always say. I'll always try it.
Yeah. I'll give an episode a watch.
One
I don't
episode.
think Crystal's gonna watch. I'll probably just put it on my phone while I work.
It might be exactly.
We know Mick's not watching because he doesn't like scary things.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, too
That's a little
scary, spooky witches.
So do you guys want to do the Nerd You Rather?
Sure.
I've got 10 of them. I got 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down.
Are they good?
Probably not.
Okay.
I just did them like
I'm down.
I just made them
Heck
now.
yeah, dude. I was trying to think if there's any other news, but
I think Netflix did a bunch of their stuff today, I think. So we might talk about that next
Yeah.
week. What are you watching? Zack Snyder's
Twilight of the Gods.
Twilight of the Gods?
I'll probably watch it. Yeah,
Well, is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Netflix.
Ooh, I'll watch
I think it dropped today.
Okay. I want to watch it. Oh, was there a lot of violence and
There's lots of violence.
There's
nudity,
nudity
but I'm
in
like,
it.
what is it? It's like watching Blue's Clues. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, dude. No, bro.
Did you see Did you see the art?
No, but
It's like,
bro, there's a real person in Blue's Clues, bro.
what's his name? Andy
Steve, bro.
Steve, yeah. I mean, no, it's not like that. I don't want to see.
Put your pants back on.
Yeah, dude, what are you talking
We
about?
just got a letter.
You just got a letter. Put your pants on, bro.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know what I mean? The art style's like,
Yeah, but
It's like paper cutouts.
Snyder's a pervert.
That's what I said before, and I still stand by it. He is slightly perverted.
all right, enough of that.
Why is he like nudity? So much?
Nerd You Rather.
Okay.
The first one I've got for you boys. You can have. Would you rather have a working lightsaber? Okay, so whichever one you want, working lightsaber,
Okay, I know what a lightsaber is.
or
Okay.
whichever sword from the Lord of the Rings, like Glamdring, Sting, whatever, but it's like legit that sword.
mean,
so whatever
Sting would be a
attributes it
waste.
has.
Sting would be a waste.
I mean,
when
if
there
there's
are
orcs around,
They light up for me.
what if it did light up one time?
but I'm
You're
saying,
like,
like, how
my
much of a
God.
nerd are you? If you want Lord of the Rings, like that's actually Elrond's sword.
actual.
It actually is like the real Elrond.
actual.
It's the real Elrond's. It's actually it.
I thought you were gonna give me like the One Ring or something, or a dwarf ring or something.
Nah.
Listen, I feel like this one's pretty easy for me.
Yeah.
I want that lightsaber.
Oh,
dude.
100%.
You guys do realize you'll probably kill yourselves. Or
Oh,
something.
no, dude.
What?
Not at all.
I'd handle it like I would a gun.
That's right.
I have it
You
in
don't
my
point it at
safe.
anybody unless
Yep.
you're ready to shoot.
It's a barrel.
All right. Pretty simple.
I'm not putting my eye up
Dude.
to it or anything like that.
But the real question is, what would you use it for?
Dude, chopping down trees all day, dude.
Yeah, that's
I'm just out there.
Zing.
And I start my own business. 'Cause how cool is that, dude? They're like, would you like me to see me chop down this tree? That's $1,000.
I mean,
Plus.
That is true.
literally, you could. Oh man,
You can cut anything.
you could cut anything. Think about you could
Possibilities,
just
dude.
you could just like go to a bank. I instantly go to crime. I don't even go through the front. I go through the back wall.
Yeah, just
and I
cut through
just go in there, grab some cash. See you later. I still have to drive away.
Yeah, but you do have to. You have to do this whole thing. Like,
Okay, wait.
No,
wait.
because it's brick, dude.
Feel.
In Star
quick
Wars, it's
question.
always like heavy metal.
No,
stuff,
it's
you
like
know?
advanced, like
Yeah,
crazy
brick,
metal.
It would cut right through brick, dude.
Yeah, brick would be easy.
I mean, you guys are going to regret it when there's some orcs nearby and you guys
No, I
don't
wouldn't.
have.
I have a
No
lightsaber.
warning.
It's true, dude.
No warning.
Dude, yeah.
All right. Okay. See. All
No
right.
other Lord of the Rings like swords have anything crazy, right?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
All right. Number
They're
two.
kinda lame.
Number two.
Oh, there's one that's similar that actually talks.
Ooh,
It's sentient.
that's cool. That's cool.
So why not that one? There you go.
Because I already have a homie to talk to.
Be any anime character or any superhero.
Ugh. Here's the problem. Any anime character is like the craziest thing because there's so many
Goku,
anime.
anybody
There's
that
so
you want to
many
do.
anime characters. Yeah, they basically any of them. Yeah, they have so many crazy options. But which one is what you're asking?
You can. Yeah.
So first of all, answer your
You'd
first
have to
question.
pick.
Anime.
Okay.
But you want to ask which
Yeah.
one specifically? You guys answer first.
Because if I don't know, I mean, I would. I'm thinking of like
Jonah kind of reminds me of Krillin, you know?
The problem is if I
can still fly though.
the problem is if I pick Goku, yes, there are some things, but I'm like, but I'm not pulling in.
Goku's so crazy though.
I know, but I'm not pulling in like the
Goku's
Dragon Balls. So if I get killed,
Here's the thing.
How are you gonna get killed? You're freaking Goku.
You're Goku. Nothing in this world, in our existence, could even touch Goku.
cancer.
Oh my gosh.
Saiyans don't get cancer.
How do you
There's
know?
no history of Saiyans being killed by
but
cancer.
it's in our world, so the things still apply in this
Saiyans,
world.
dude.
Like
They
I,
don't
like
even
You
age.
still get gout if you go.
if my diet doesn't change,
She's like,
if I'm drinking a ton of soda, although Goku eats a ton.
he does eat a ton.
Okay, but here's the thing: the whole cancer thing is applies to anyone, right?
Yeah, if you're
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm Superman,
So
I can
no,
get
No,
cancer.
because I'm the Man of Steel.
But there's no kryptonite in this world.
Yeah, so you'd be good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you're pulling
Superman's
something in,
good.
if you're pulling in an anime character that's reliant on something in world,
Yeah, you don't do that.
You just got to think about it.
That's unwise.
I'd probably pick Goku though.
Goku's
after all of that.
really good because you can instant transmission. You can teleport anywhere you want.
For me, that's the
Like, how
deciding
sick
factor.
would it be,
I
like-
can just go anywhere.
Oh yeah, by the way, guys, there is an asteroid coming to Earth. You could be like, I got that, and then no one will even know, dude. You just wear all black, and their cameras won't even get you.
I mean, and talking about crime, dude.
And my hair would look
Instant transmission.
You could try to be a vigilante, like a hero. You could totally be that.
One Punch, murder people.
There is One Punch Man too. That guy's crazy. That guy's super strong.
Did you pick yours?
One punch he can destroy.
I gotta go Goku. It's for instant transmission only. That's
Instant
the only thing I
transmission,
want.
You don't even need the super strength and super durability of Super
I just
Saiyan.
want to teleport anywhere I want.
Quick question. So let's be real about this. You get,
I'm always
you
real.
become, you're not Goku, but you have Goku's powers, right?
Yeah.
You're still you, right? That's what we're
Yeah.
agreeing to. We're not taking on different facades.
I'd be like ripped like him.
Okay, but you're still you, right?
Yeah.
Your hair's not like him.
No.
So when you get these powers, do you tell anyone else? Do you tell anyone, and who do you tell?
We
if you
just
do?
told everybody on the podcast.
Well,
God.
it hasn't
The 13
happened.
people
It
that
hasn't
listen.
happened. Even if what? Okay, if Josh
It's like
becomes
20,
Goku,
okay?
does he get ripped like Goku?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm already
you
ripped
get,
like
you get to
Goku,
decide. You get to decide
I'm
if you
gonna
want
say it
that
like
ripped.
Goku.
Because I feel like it'd be way too much. Like I feel like I might be like, yeah, tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Krillin.
Okay.
Maybe.
Who
Who you got? We already picked Goku.
We already picked Goku.
Everyone picked
We
Goku.
both picked
I just
Goku.
want instant transmission. That's honestly all I want.
I just want the tail.
There's some really big brain pick here. I just don't know what it is. This is too tough, man. I feel like I don't have enough time.
The guy from Kingdom Hearts.
I will be Light from Death Note. I will literally just have a notepad.
You
that
wanna kill people?
If I write their name, they just
Oh my
die.
gosh,
Oh, bro.
dude, that's messed up.
That's messed up.
I'm just
hey,
joking.
we best friends.
I don't know who. Hey man, we're homies, right? No, I'm just joking. There's got to be someone stronger than Goku or cooler than Goku. I don't know. Goku's really strong.
The cat from The Cat Returns.
Who's that? Oh,
Studio
Ghibli. I don't know. I mean,
Ponyo?
Goku's just the easy one.
Ponyo, Ponyo.
I don't
We're
know.
all going
Goku's
Goku?
good. Yeah,
All right.
good enough.
All right. Get punched
There's a
in the
better
face by Batman. As hard as Batman can punch.
Does he have his metal suit on or just normal?
Normal.
Thank goodness, because he'd
Normal.
take my head right off.
Okay, normal Batman, no metal suit.
So literally a really strong dude's punch.
Yeah, like
Okay.
super strong.
Well, no,
or
not
have
super.
to punch Superman in the face as hard as you can.
Oh, so breaking my face or breaking my hand? Oh, I break my hand.
I have a loophole for you. Yeah, Adam West Batman. That guy's punching me.
He's hard, dude.
Nah, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
Boom, roasted.
Ooh, he picked the Batman. Smart.
I didn't say you could pick the Batman.
Yeah,
I get to pick the Batman.
I'll have cartoon Batman.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, I would punch Superman in the face and break my hand, basically.
You're not gonna let me pick the Batman?
No.
Okay, then I punch Superman.
Yeah,
I'm pretty weak.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think it's a cool story to be like, man,
I would break
Batman
my own
actually
hand.
punched me in the face?
No,
Dude, all those-
it's a cooler story to be like.
Have you guys
yeah, Superman looked at me the wrong way, and I was like, "Hey, shut up, dude."
Guess what?
Bam.
I'm picking I'm picking Batman to punch me, and then I'm suing him because I know he's Bruce Wayne, and I'm become a millionaire.
Smart. Have you ever punched a punching machine before? Like those? Mark my words. I punch over 900.
You're like
I punched like 920 something. Okay? If you're out there watching or listening, try to beat me.
You're like Drago, dude.
I punch hard. I'm going to be honest. I think my wife likes me more because she saw that.
She's like,
Oh my god, he's so
Dang.
strong.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go do that.
Do it.
Take my wife
in front of your wife.
Be like, oh, look
Just
at this.
make sure you punch like over 600 at least.
Who put this punch machine right here?
Oh, crazy. Bang.
This one's a Marvel one.
Okay.
Would you rather have when Thanos snapped, you disappeared, or you stuck around?
Okay.
Then
But here's the thing.
They just came back like
Question.
whatever the
Does
years
this,
were later.
Does this mean if I disappear, Bree exists and vice versa? Like my wife goes away? Like if you stay,
Are you saying you get vacation for your wife?
No, I'm just wondering what. Like if I don't go, and
It's random.
Bree's,
It's random. It's like your mom may be gone,
yeah,
but you stay.
Like
Whatever
if-
you decide.
Like if you stayed, like your whole family would be gone,
Sure.
and that would be terrible for you.
I mean, maybe like one of them would disappear.
Do we have the prior knowledge that we will come back? And it was like 10 years, right? Something like that.
You
I
have
think it's less than that.
you
it was
have
less
the,
than that, like
5?
3, 5.
I think 5 years.
Okay.
You have the knowledge that
We do know that we will eventually come back.
I mean, yeah. It's like, do you want to be gone and then just back?
Wait, did they come back and nothing had changed? Like
For them, they didn't. They're like, oh, I just went
and
into
they
the
didn't
bathroom
age,
and
they
then
didn't age, right?
no.
Okay.
Does
So
Bree get to?
Crystal would be 5 years older than you now.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, who said she's staying? You said it was random.
Well,
It's
yeah,
true.
but it could. There's a possibility of that.
True.
I mean, you could come
It's a
back and
50-50
dad
chance.
could be dead. When you come back, you're like, hey, I was just hanging out with
Yeah.
dad, and then you're like, what? Or Crystal could die
If-
of heartbreak if she.
He got rid of half the population.
Obviously, you want to stay.
I'm sticking around.
Yeah, you obviously want to stay.
This place sounds a lot nicer
Except
with
if
half of
you
you.
let Bree claim life insurance. If she gets to claim life insurance for me dying or disappearing because people don't understand what's happening, she then gets like $1 million or whatever. I'd go. I'd take the hit. I'd be like, Bree. Oh, but then, yeah, I'd let her
and then,
cash in.
and then you
Yeah,
guess
but
what?
she doesn't,
She doesn't know
but she
you're
doesn't
coming
know
back.
you're coming back, so
she's
she
not-
might move along.
You
she
can
might move on.
You
She
come
wouldn't.
back and then
I
there's
know
another
she
dude.
wouldn't.
She might be playing the new World of Warcraft, and someone else comes on. there.
Another warrior comes by and woos her. I would let her get the money. I can't tell her.
No,
I can't be like, yo,
no.
I'll be
Hey,
back.
hey, I'll be back.
You have the information,
Yeah.
but no one else
I
does.
will bank on the fact that she won't move on and she gets to claim
The
life,
life
insurance.
insurance.
Only if she gets to claim life
well,
insurance.
it's gonna be a roll of the dice because
Bree,
she might
you're
disappear
welcome.
with you.
That would be preferable because then we both don't age and then we're good.
You guys.
I'm getting out.
He's staying.
I'm staying.
I'm dipping. Only if you let life insurance go.
I'd probably stay.
Yeah,
too.
you should
Just to be
stay.
like,
You should
50% less people. Yes, please.
Oh, think about this though. You stay, your whole family goes away, bro. You're just making straight cash. You can just save up a bunch
like
of
in
money.
5 years when they get back and they haven't changed,
Yeah.
I might be dead by then though. Like that's the problem.
Well, you never know.
I'm like, they're here, they're coming back tomorrow. Ugh, heart attack. All the work I did.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Have to watch the worst Marvel show every month or the worst Star Wars show every month. So every month you have to binge whatever your least favorite. I'm not saying what I'm not
Show.
going to say what the worst one is.
Well, the
but
Star Wars one.
It could be Acolyte or the Book of Boba Fett or
Yeah.
whatever, and then or the.
Do we watch all the seasons or just one season?
No, you have to watch all the
So
seasons.
length also is
So, or the worst Marvel show was probably a Secret Invasion. I think might be my least favorite.
ugh.
Echo. I mean, there's
I liked Echo.
plenty to, but you have to watch it, and you can't be on your phone. You have to like sit through it. You can
Are my
binge it.
eyes clamped open?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
binge it in one day, or you can be like, well, I'll watch one episode tonight. But
What's my
every
least
month you
favorite
have to
Star Wars?
restart it. Every month it's a restart.
What's my least favorite Star Wars?
I'm going Star Wars.
But which one? What is it? What's your least favorite?
Probably Book of Boba Fett.
That's
Yeah.
how many seasons? 2 or 3?
No, it's just one season.
Just one? Oh, yeah.
That's
I'd
just like
probably-
8 episodes.
Probably Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, Scooter Gang, Scooter Gang, Scooter Gang. Yeah. I'm watching that.
I'm probably doing Book of Boba
How many
Fett,
episodes was it? 8?
I think
6 or 8.
6 or 8.
Ooh, yeah, we chilling. I do that Book of Boba Fett.
Here's the thing, like the worst Star
Marvel's
Wars thing
way
in my
worse.
mind is like, oh, I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know what I mean?
It's like a 6 or
Like,
something.
I'm like, that's Book of Boba Fett's the worst
Yeah.
Star Wars,
You at
but
least
I enjoyed
it.
watching it.
Yeah, you like parts of it.
Yeah. The worst Marvel, like watching Secret Invasion was like,
no. What's the She-Hulk? You have to watch She-Hulk.
He liked She-Hulk.
I like She-Hulk better than Secret Invasion, dude.
I would have to watch She-Hulk probably, or Agatha all along if it's bad. Yeah, let's go.
Or
with
Agents
Star
of
Wars.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
We'll go with Star
We're all going
Wars.
Book of Boba Fett.
Go with Star
Good
Wars.
call.
Yes.
Be cast in the worst star in. You are the main actor in the worst movie ever made. But it makes billions of dollars at the box office. So people are like, went to watch this because it was so bad.
Oh, it's like a joke.
It's like, oh
it's
my
like
gosh,
a meme.
this is the highest grossing movie ever, but
It's
this
like
guy sucks.
What's his face?
The Room or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
cast in the best movie of the year, but it completely bombs.
Quick question: how's my performance?
I mean,
Are you bad at it? Yeah,
Like,
that's a good, that's a
am
good
I
question.
legit bad?
it's the worst movie ever
But
made.
like, is it my fault or is the story just dumb?
You're
crap?
part of it. You're part of it.
I'm a part of
You're
the
part of
reason?
the worst movie ever made.
Is it so?
Or the
much-
best movie of the year, but
Yeah.
it completely bombs. It's
Is
like nothing.
is there a like almost cult rising later with the best movie ever, and then I make more money on like something?
Nah, I can't say that because then it makes it really easy.
I mean, obviously for me, I obviously negotiated a
Percentage of the box office?
So I'm going crappiest movie ever made. And then when people are like, hey, you sucked in that movie, I'm like, Philip, get him, please. That's my bodyguard.
Yeah.
He takes him out, breaks his neck.
Yeah, I'm not a super prideful guy, so I'll take the money.
Yeah, dude, I don't care.
I
Are you
really
kidding
don't
me?
care.
If people are like, you sucked in that, I'm like, okay. Let me go back to my mansion.
Let me go see what my
did-
bank
Have
account
fun
says
with your
about
minimum
that.
wage job, punk.
Technically, I didn't say you made the billions of dollars. The movie makes the
And
billions
I
of
just
dollars.
told you.
Oh, come on. We're the
listen, I
main
told you,
actor.
I
Okay,
told you
okay.
I negotiated a percentage
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
box office.
Everyone,
Clearly.
do we not
Sure.
Obviously.
pulling the rug under us.
They call me
gotcha.
Robert Downey Jr., dude.
Yeah,
Have Spider-Man's web shooting powers. Only that. You can't. You're not Spider-Man.
That's fine.
I can't
You can
climb
just shoot,
anything?
No. You
Okay,
can just
so
shoot.
But I can shoot the web.
You
so
can shoot the
Tobey
web.
Maguire.
The
Tobey
rope.
Maguire.
Yes.
Tobey
you can
Maguire?
shoot the web. You can cover people's mouths. You can do all that kind of
come
stuff.
in
Tobey
handy. That'd
Maguire.
come in handy, yeah.
We don't have to have capsules or
no,
anything.
No,
right?
it's
coming
just
at
coming
you.
out of
Tobey
your
Maguire.
yeah. Or stretchy arms.
Stretch
Like
arms.
like
Mr.
you're
Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic. So he can, you don't have his intelligence or anything. It's just, but you're not Spider-Man. So I thought about this because let me just think what I thought about because I was like, oh, it'd be cool to kind of swing around. There's no way physically I'm going to be able to swing around
Hold yourself
from
up.
doing stuff. It'd be a nightmare. Like the
They're
only thing
both
I could do is cool. It's a cool party trick. Be like, and
get
just
to-
getting people in the
Dude,
face and stuff like that.
Here's the sickest thing for you, bro. You get to go out to like a random like pickup game of basketball and you dunk. And you just drop the ball.
That is true.
You probably become pro to some degree because you can go.
That's probably outlawing you.
They probably would.
I'd shoot the 3-pointer just from the three.
Can you make? I think you make more money with stretchy arms. I think you are way more utility with the spider web because think
Really?
about all the techniques you can do with the spider web. You can make nets. You can like tie things together. You could like save people's lives. Save
I
them
can
from
save
falling
people
off a
lives
cliff.
too.
Well, I assume that you can only go so far. Spider web's going way further than stretchy arms.
Stretch.
What's the limit?
Well,
I just said
I
stretchy
think,
arms.
dude, I'm like,
based on history, spiderweb can stop a whole
Train,
subway train,
That is true.
and stretchy arms pretty weak. I mean, it's only as strong as your arms.
I mean, and he got made
don't
into.
have-
If you go up to the Scarlet Witch,
Well, yeah, gosh.
I'm going stretchy arms for sure. Dude. It would be so nice.
I
to
think
just be like,
there's legitimacy to it.
also, clearly, I put a camera on my stretchy arm so I can see where I'm going. You know what I'm saying?
that'd be kind of cool.
Because then
Or
I
then
can.
you
Then I'm
think-
like,
no,
hey,
no, no,
you want something to drink? You want something to drink?
No.
And
feel
I got Google
could be-
Lens on.
and he could
And
become.
You know, like
GoPros
you know,
on there.
like the drone flyers.
Yeah,
They
dude.
have these,
Exactly,
like,
but it's
you have
with my
one
hands.
goggle on. Yeah.
So
You
I
also
can see.
could become a plumber and just go
Dude,
down
I
the
wouldn't
drain
wanna
and pull
do
stuff
that.
out.
That's gross, dude.
Stretch your arms, bro.
Well, how expensive would his gloves
have
be?
to. You'd never have to call someone to root or anything. A rooter here. You
What
just
do
be like,
what do
hey,
you think my hands are doing? I'm just like poking at it, dude.
No, you'd have to grab the crap
grab and pull.
out.
Yeah, that's terrible.
yeah.
I'm making
be
so
some
much
fun.
money with my
Okay.
stretchy arms.
I think
in my
stretchy-
NBA career.
I think
I don't need to pay,
I think
dude.
stretchy arms make more money. I think spider web is just generally
Just cooler.
cooler and more useful as far as utility. Because
Think
there's
about all the things I can get, dude.
I can get it too.
Ooh.
Got it.
Yeah, but then you have to clean. Like, oh, I
Got
can't
it.
reach that Lego on the top shelf, and then you have to clean off all the spider web off
the
the
spider
Lego.
web's gross, dude.
Yeah, but
after
your
that.
hands are. You got to give me at least the anti-web spore. Like,
What is it?
But you can't
It's
climb.
just
No
what's it
climbing
called? I don't
though.
know,
No
dude.
climb though.
No
okay,
climb.
no
No
climb,
climb. No climb.
no climb.
But can you shoot the sticky webs on your hands and then climb because they're
If
sticky?
you want to, but if you fall, you die. You can't be like,
No,
Bro,
he shoots
I
his
just
web out.
keep
Grabs
shooting
on,
web.
dude.
Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't trust any of us like shooting from heights and like not falling off.
Bro, watch me. I'll practice enough. I'll make a parachute. I put my thumb on it, spread it out. I'm never dying. in an
it's like
airplane
glider,
crash.
glider.
I'm getting
Or
out.
shoot it down so you land on it.
Yeah, bro. I'm making a cot.
spider cop.
Spider cot. I'm saving people from falling and stuff.
Nice.
Someone knocks a cup off the table. Got
It'd be
it.
pretty sick.
It's still
I'm
it's still
stretchy arms all
spilled.
day.
I'd go
Spidey
spider
web?
web, yeah, as well.
Foolish.
I think they're both really useful. I'm just literally thinking about making a camp with web. Like that's the only thing in my head right now. I can't get back. Yeah, like a cot,
Like,
a tent.
think about all the camping things I can do.
That's literally all I'm thinking about. Stupid.
Nice. Have an elf companion, so a dude that just hangs out with you, like
an elf?
Legolas. Yeah, he's
Wait,
he can
can
shoot
we-
arrows. You can say, hey, bro, what do your elf eyes see? He can tell you like from a distance.
can
what's
walk on
coming.
top of snow?
He can walk on top of snow, all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Or a dwarf companion that just hangs out with you.
Wait, is a dwarf really good at crafting things?
Probably. He's a dwarf from Middle Earth and an elf. So whatever abilities they have.
Do they require sustenance?
That's a
Yeah,
great
but
question.
'Cause I
That
know which
is
one
a
I'm
great question.
Say no, and it's
No.
harder. Okay,
No.
good. Because if it was a yes,
But
I'm not doing
The elf
dwarf.
could make you lembas bread. Just saying.
He can do that regardless.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. That's what you can do. You can do that.
I feel like a dwarf is more practical. Like I feel
Dwarf
like he's
is
good with
way
his
more
hands.
practical. He could build
If we
stuff.
gotta dig stuff, I'm like, hey,
Oh,
bro, I
heck
gotta
yeah.
dig a hole, dude.
Yeah.
He's out there just
You
chisel-
start your-
chiseling away.
With your stretch your arms, your roto rooter, and then your trench digger
Yeah.
business.
Also, I send him off to work the mines. You know,
Okay, and
Bring some money back.
Sorry, just to kind of figure it out. He is a being that doesn't require food, drink.
He just hangs-
nothing.
he just
Does
chills
he go
with
to
you.
the bathroom? Does he need to
he,
sleep?
he does have to go to the bathroom and he does need to sleep.
Okay, so I have to house him.
He's your buddy. He's like having a pet.
Okay,
It's like your dog.
let's just call it how it is. It's a slave.
wow.
Kind of.
So a science fiction,
But not a racial slave. A fantasy slave.
Well, it is racial
like-
because you said dwarf or elf.
No,
Those
but-
are the races.
Yeah,
It's effed
you know what
up.
I mean? Not like
What's wrong with you?
Not a human
What's wrong
race.
with
I just asking.
A fantasy race.
Okay, so do they die when you die or something like that?
Yeah, they're just
Can they betray you?
no. They're loyal like dogs.
Dang, this is crazy. Slaves like dogs.
Yeah, dude. Well, I don't like this. I feel uncomfortable with this line of
They're
questioning.
both white.
I think I think the dwarf because I think he is more useful. I think the elf would kind of just be a tool, like not in a good way. Like you'd be like you'd always be looking down on me, like you're not really doing much today.
You're watching TV again.
It's like really, you're gonna binge watch that whole season in one day?
Like I have to. I said I'd watch the
yeah.
worst Star Wars every month.
I guess I would take the dwarf. What about you, Josh?
I feel like dwarf makes the most sense, utility wise.
Takes up less room too. Shorter.
True. What are you saying?
What say
There's
you?
a right answer for you, actually.
Why?
Well, give me an answer and I'll tell you if it's right or
I'll
not.
tell you how you're wrong.
I don't know. I really haven't thought about it. I just made it up.
I just made up now.
I mean, for house projects, I feel like the dwarf is the best.
But there's no. Also, elves are good at crafting things if they're specialized in. I think whatever you make them specialize, they'll be good at.
Maybe they can. My elf could make me like Rivendell in the basement.
They can make you a boat.
Yeah.
I go an elf just because, I feel like they also smell better.
See, I think the dwarf makes me look better though too.
No, he's ripped, bro.
Yeah, no, he has a pot belly. He's got dad strength. You know what I mean?
You know
what I mean? He got dad strength. He got dwarf strength.
You made the right choice.
Oh, I
did. You want to know why?
Why?
For the music implications alone.
That is true.
You got a built-in companion that can just.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I make so much good music.
You can only play the lute though.
Ooh, you're right. I didn't even think about that, but I made the right choice. Anyways,
he'd put you
have the next movie that's coming out is that Nintendo does live action Mario Kart or live action Smash Bros. Now think about this. It has to be live action. It can't be animated. It's got to be live action. You want it to be good, so you have to think, okay, do I want a guy playing Mario in like a race movie like Speed Racer? Or do I want like Smash Bros where it's like ideas. Mortal Kombat? That's just supposed to be bad.
Sure, Mario Kart. I don't know how you make Smash Bros not stupid. It would be so dumb. Like the only one who fits in that is like, I guess Steve. I guess we got Jack Black there playing Steve, and we've got like
whoever plays the live action Zelda Link movie. You know, he's gonna be there. Mario, you got to pick an actor to play.
I'm casting Jack Black as Mario, obviously.
Wait, he's Steve and Mario.
No, in my Smash Bros.
Steve in Minecraft. Oh shoot, dude.
Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Jack Black
Here's the reality of this. You have like the same actors that would be in Mario Kart would be in Smash Bros. Because a lot of those.
Yeah, but what is the story of Smash Bros?
Well, what is the story of Mortal Kombat?
We're not talking about Mortal Kombat.
What I'm saying, but they made a movie.
But Mario Kart.
You can tell a good story with Mario Kart of like, there's all sorts of race
what
movies.
What can you tell?
What do you mean? It's the story of Mario trying to win his first Grand Prix.
Yeah, he's
the
down
Mushroom
on his
Cup.
Look.
He needs to win the Mushroom
Cup.
Who's
the actor? Who's playing Mario?
I don't know. I'm not picking that one.
The guy who voiced him. It's a me, Mario.
Pratt.
It's Chris Pratt.
Yeah, okay, with the fake mustache.
It's a me, Mario. Let's go.
Yeah, so you guys are going Mario Kart?
I think that there's a better story to be told with Mario Kart, albeit not a great one. These both suck. I'm gonna be honest.
I want a rated R live action Smash Bros.
I'm going Smash Bros.
Nintendo wouldn't make an R movie,
and
so you know it's not gonna be
R. Whoever plays Kirby.
Here's the thing. I think Mario Kart
Kirby would be crazy. It looks so dumb.
You can tell a better story with Mario Kart.
Turns into a rock.
Yeah,
but I feel like more people watch the Smash Bros. Movie because people are like, "What? People just fighting? That's cool." Like it makes more money at the box office. People are like, "Oh, a racing movie."
But Mario Kart. Everyone knows Mario and Mario Kart. It's in the name. I think it makes more money at the box office just purely on the IP.
Interesting.
They're both dumb though.
Of course, that's the whole point. But I'm
just
watching
think about how many characters are in Smash Bros. 2. Crazy.
I want to know who they get to play the hand.
Or whose hand?
Mine.
Or do they just dress them up?
The hamburger helper?
Yeah, like hamburger helper.
All right. Last one.
Okay.
Be related to somebody famous in the movie industry.
Okay.
I don't care who it is. Actor.
Okay.
It can be, Uncle Denzel Washington, whatever the case may be.
Uncle Denzel.
Or be related to someone famous in the gaming community.
Blood related or adopted?
Blood related.
Okay. Blood related to someone in movies or gaming. I mean, are we talking like it could be anyone?
Anybody.
Like, it could be like the director of Microsoft or Sony or...
Yeah, anybody.
What are the pros of being related to someone in gaming industry? What's the
not having to go to a Diddy party?
Right. And I'm trying to see find a reason to go to the gaming side because I don't want to be related to Hollywood stuff. Hollywood stuff is, geez, man. They just had stuff come out. I don't want to talk about it really, but like,
oh, we missed it in the news.
Gosh,
Next week.
Hollywood, just TLDR, Hollywood's effed up. It's so crazy. Gaming probably. I'd probably be related to, if I could be like the nephew of who's the president of Nintendo? I can't remember his name. That'd be cool, because then that means I'm related to a Japanese line too, and that that's sick. Samurai. No, that just means I have a cool place to go visit in Japan. That'd be really fun. And I'd maybe get early access to some cool Nintendo stuff. Either that or like Ubisoft or Sony, something in that vein. But I'd probably go with Nintendo. President of Nintendo. I can't remember his name. Iwata? Is it Iwata, or did he die?
He passed away.
Yeah, shoot. I can't remember who it is.
Josh?
I don't know. It's a good question. I feel like more perks, I guess, in Hollywood.
Furukawa. Shuntaro Furukawa. That's his name.
Definitely not Harvey Weinstein. That's for sure.
I can tell you who I don't want to.
You know who I'm going to be related to?
Who?
I'm going to be related to Adam Sandler.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
a super giving guy.
He's super cool.
chill.
He's super chill,
Yeah.
and he's probably like, "Hey, you want to be in my next movie?" And I'm like,
I'm signed
Okay,
a contract
dude.
with Netflix for 30 movies.
"I got to make 13 movies this year. You want to just hang out?
His
You
whole
want
family
to
is-
play a homeless person?" I'm like,
Dude,
"Okay."
you could be related to your Superman.
Zack Snyder. Oh,
No,
Henry Cavill.
that's exactly
You can
what I'm
relate to
doing.
you want to be related to
Cavill.
Henry Cavill?
Heck yes.
Hey, what do we get to pick?
Oh, that'd be
relation?
kinda sick,
Do
though,
we get to
actually.
pick relation? Like,
You
could you be
whatever.
a brother-in-law or a brother to Henry Cavill?
Yeah, I'd take.
Can you be that related?
I might want to be his nephew. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'd get more perks because I'm a nephew.
Why?
No, if you were his brother,
No, yeah, I know.
he'd want to like game with you and
Yeah,
stuff.
but here's
He'd
the
be so
problem,
pumped.
guys. Me standing right beside Henry
Here's-
Cavill
Here's the problem,
as his brother. It's a big difference.
That sucks for you.
So
dude.
what?
Good thing I'm standing next to Adam Sandler.
No, I think I do. There you go. I think I do that. It was for me. It was between Henry Cavill or Denzel Washington, because I'm like Denzel's just be like, let me give you some advice, and he was a good guy. Uncle Denzel.
Who'd you pick?
Adam Sandler, bro.
Great
The
pick.
Sandman.
Yeah,
The
great
Sandman.
Yeah, I think that's great. I am finding flaws in my pick. I feel like they're a bit.
How are you gonna understand when you go to visit your uncle in Japan?
I passively gain that, right?
Yeah, obviously.
I get.
He's related. He learns.
Yeah, I get. That.
You know where you messed up? The expectations, dude. They're
So-
gonna be like
Yeah.
super strict.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
Hey.
No, I'm finding the flaws right now as I'm thinking about it. Super strict. Expectations are so high, especially someone being of that high status. No, you guys are right. I think mine's a foolish
Hollywood,
pick.
baby.
I don't want to go
Yeah,
Hollywood.
Diddy party.
Yeah, maybe it's like just whoever's the head of what's his name? Not Snyder.
Zack Snyder,
the head
You wanna be
of
related to Zack
Xbox or something like that.
Oh, Phil. What's his name?
Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be related to Phil Spencer. Something like that.
Be a little more laid back, you know?
Yeah, a little bit more laid back, maybe less expectations. That's a good question.
All right.
I like that question.
That's a good question.
There you
That's a
go.
good one.
That'll do it for Nerd You Rather. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We will be back next week with more of the Nerd Age podcast. We got Penguin, we got Lord of the Rings, we got other stuff coming up. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, we're on X, Instagram. Thanks so much for hanging out. See y'all next week.
See ya.
See y'all.